Daily Dose. My name is Robert, and I'm here live with Susan Scarlett. Hey, Susan, how are you? Watch the edge of your frame. You're going to get lost. Come over just a little bit, my dear. Yeah.
Are you? Let me see if I can touch you.
Ow, so hard.
Oh,
Gosh, you're mean.
we're in the same room. This is
It's something.
wow.
So why are we in the same room? Well, we just had the Yes and Exercise Festival in Texas. That was
Festival.
our
What a word.
festival, and it was our first one.
Yes,
Another F.
and it feels so good. Not just to have it finished,
Yeah.
but because it was so much fun, and because it was so much fun.
My hair doesn't feel finished, but yeah, it was people say, how was it? How'd it go? It was a lot. I mean, let's put that forward. We tried this back in December, and there was even more going on back then because you were just finishing up with the brain stimulation. I was just finishing up with the PhD, and we just piled too much on our plate and made the right decision to pull the plug on that. And we gave ourselves what felt like a good amount of time.
It did, but then we threw a marathon in even though that was the first 8 days of January.
Yeah, I think regardless, this is a good life lesson. This is the offer out to all of our loyal fans. Loyal fans. Is that no matter what you do, you're probably never going to feel fully prepared. There's always going to be a, oh my gosh, I could have done this, or why did we do that, or because we had a lot of crises of confidence along the way of what we were considering, and by again we had a venue change, which was a massive thing, really late in the game, and then it was the community engagement and who was doing what where, and then it was our sponsors, and they came through at the 11th hour,
Yes.
and
Yeah, there was a lot of 11th hour.
there were,
and that's hard to, if you don't know.
Yeah.
And this was the first time that maybe that's the norm for people to not commit till they notice that nothing else is on their calendar that afternoon and they can do it.
That whatever their feelings were, right? People showed up and they did, and they had a great time. I mean, the feedback, not only, this was my takeaway, not only did they show up, they stuck around.
They were engaged during the time, and there was cross-pollination during the breaks and lunch and stuff.
Yeah.
And they, as you say, they stuck around. They enjoyed the whole day that we planned. And
well, and it was a diverse offering. So from our perspective, as we built Yes and Exercise, how did you feel about what we showed and the message of, in terms of our making it clear to people when they say, what is Yes and Exercise? How clear do you think that was yesterday?
We always say that until somebody comes and does a Jam for Joy with us, they're not going to really get what it is that we're talking about.
That's right.
This was that on steroids. It was because it was explained.
Right.
It was theory. It was presentation of concepts interspersed with real games, real lifetime. And we had things happen. One of my favorite ones was in the U game, which I've subsequently learned is fun to have multiple U's going around the room. You. Well, this group of people, for some reason, instead of pointing and going you, which was what we set up, were handing a ball off to each other.
Yep.
And I quickly gave myself permission to shift gears because that's what we do.
Oh no, that's not the way we play it.
Oh, that's wrong. What? No.
Yeah.
So that said to me right there that they internalized this so well that they owned it for that moment.
Well, somebody did something different, and another person not knowing any difference said, well, I guess that's what we're doing. And it was up to us to yes and them, to live what we are.
And we did.
Instead of stopping and going, that was great. How about we try it this way? No. What they did was different, and it worked.
Yes. The first hour was that. It was sort of improvising and presentation. The second hour was storytelling and presentation and why storytelling works. And I think my favorite moment of the whole day was sitting like this next to each other on the stage doing a daily dose, like not
in front of a studio audience,
not like this, but in front of a studio audience who were laughing, and that was really a blast.
Yeah, I think the concept of story is one we'll take into the next dose, because that is traditionally as long as we've been a tradition, it has been the lesser explained part of what we do. Like the improv, we put a lot of focus on that. And then sometimes I have to remind myself, I ran a clinical trial. My first paper is on the storytelling program, which incorporates improv secondarily. It's very much about story. So let's come back and talk more about the importance of story and how it was presented yesterday. This is your Daily Dose.